Yeah, my people, is your boy King of Mathematics. We're back again. Yeah. So, what do we want to do today? We just want to see a question from further maths WAEC question, which is from the topic polynomials. If you are used to that polynomial. And what does that question say? The question says that if f of x equals to 6x cubed plus 13x squared plus 2x minus 5, comma, and f of minus 1 is equal to 0. Find the factors of f of x. So how are you going to solve this question? Let's see how to go about it. Firstly, you have to check that, okay, what kind of equation is this? You see that it's a cubic equation under polynomial. So since you've been told that f of minus 1 is equal to 0, the first thing you will do, that is to say, if this is f of x, instead of writing x, we have x here, x here, x here. That is, if you want to find f of minus 1, which is equal to 0, we will now, wherever you see your x, you'll be equating minus 1. So therefore, f of minus 1, which is 0, I can now say is 0 will be equals to, that's 6 into brackets. That's the result. Instead of having our f of x, which is f of 1, where that's 0 equals to 6 into brackets, will now be minus 1 raised to power 3 plus 13 into bracket minus 1 raised to power 2 plus 2 into bracket minus 1, then minus 5. I want to believe you are getting what we're saying. Indirectly, you can even still write f of minus 1 equals to 6 into bracket minus 1 plus 13 in bracket minus 1. But since f of 1 is equal to 0, that's why I've gone straight into solving the question. Having done that, what are you going to do? Then we are going to check, okay, what is this going to give us? Let's check whether this is, what I'm doing here is just checking. Do you understand? So you can have 6 minus 1 is, let's see whether it's going to be, because minus 1 is part, that's minus 1, that will give you us minus 6, then plus, this is 13 times, this is minus 1 is power 2, that's minus 1 times minus 1, which is still give you 1, that's plus 13, then minus 2 minus 5. Let's see whether it will give us 0. Then we have, this is minus 6 minus 2, that will give you minus 6 minus 2 minus 5 plus 13. This will give you 8 and 5, that's minus 13 plus 13, which is what? 0. So since you've gotten that, so you can now equate that 6x cubed plus 13x squared plus 2x minus 5 is equal to what? 0, which is equation 1 to simplify. But from this one, since this one has given us 0, which means this is telling us that x minus 1 must be equal to 0, because x plus 1 will give us 0. That is, what am I saying by saying x plus 1 equal to 0? Since f of minus 1, here x is equal to what? Minus 1. So therefore, x plus 1 is a factor of 6x cubed plus 13x squared plus 2x minus 5 equals 0. Yeah, you ask that, why is it x plus 1 and not x minus? Because this is minus 1. So it's the only way you can have your x to be minus 1, that's what I've shown you here. It's going to be x plus 1 equals 0. So when you transfer it there, you have x equals minus 1. That's why we are saying. So having done that, you now go through what we call the division law using your polynomials. Then you take, like I've said, is going to be this one that I want to divide will be our divisor. Why? What we are using to divide, which is x plus 1, will be the dividend, and the quotient will be the result, which we write here, while the remainder will be the one under. So the divisor, write it inside, 6x cubed plus 13x squared plus 2x minus 5. Then the dividend, don't forget this, maybe I should write it here, 6x cubed plus 13x squared plus 2x minus 5 equals divisor. And x plus 1 will be what? Dividend. So we will have x plus 1, which is the dividend outside. Then we'll now start dividing. X in 6x cubed, we take it one by one. So that will give us ordinary 6x squared. 6x squared that you have, use it to multiply these two. That will give us 6x cubed. Then 6x squared times plus 1, that's plus 6x squared. Then you subtract like that. 6x cubed minus 6x cubed will give you 0. Then this is plus 13 minus plus 13, which is plus 6 rather. Plus 13x squared minus plus 6x squared. That will give us 13x squared minus 6x squared. And when you do that, that's 13 minus 3, which will give you plus 7. Plus 7x squared. Then you bring down the 2x. We go again. X in 7x squared, that will give you plus 7x. 7 times this one will give you 7x squared. Are you with me? Then plus 7, that's 7x. Then we subtract again. When you subtract, this one will give us 0. Definitely 2x minus this will give us plus 2x minus plus 7, which will be 2x minus 7, and that will give us minus 5x. Then you bring down that minus 5. X divided by minus 5, you have minus 5. 5, that's minus 5x. Minus times plus 1, that's minus what? Minus 5. You subtract again. This will give us minus 5 plus 5, minus 5x plus 5x. Because minus times minus is plus. That will give us 0 plus minus 5 minus times minus here is also plus. That's minus 5 plus 5. That's what? 0. So you must add a 0 because we've gotten that this x plus 1 is a factor. If you do not get 0 here, that means you've made mistake. So therefore, we can write 6x cubed then plus 13x squared plus 2x minus 5 as x plus 1 into bracket 6x squared plus 7x minus 5. So we now have equals to 0. So since we've done this one, we can still simplify further because this one has given us what we call a quadratic equation. And when you have a quadratic equation, you know that we have different methods that you can use in solving your quadratic equation to get the root, because we are looking for the root of this equation, the factors. And what's a factor? A factor is anything that will divide a number that will divide another number without leaving a remainder. And when it comes to equation, it means an equation that will divide another equation without leaving a remainder. Just like you can see, x plus 1, which is a linear equation, divided this one without leaving a remainder. So we have to find the other root from this one. So you can use completing the square method, you can use factorization method, you can use your geographical method, depend. But here, because I don't want us to go so far, so I'm going to be using factorization method. So let's have 6x squared plus 7x minus 5 equals 0. These are coefficients. So coefficient of x squared, coefficient of x, and this is called the constant. So we now find what is the coefficient of x squared here, which is 6. Use it to multiply this constant. That will give us 30. So you now find what are the things that will give you 30. 1 times 30 is 30. 2 times 15 is 30. Then 3 times 10 is 30. And we have 5 times 6 is also 30. Out of this one, if you combine, 1 and 30 can never give us a plus 7. 2 and 15 can never give us a plus 7. But 3 and 10 is likely. How? That's going to give us plus 10 minus 3. So we'll now change this one to 6x squared plus 10x minus 7x minus 3 and 10. That's minus 3x minus 5 equals 0. So permit me to rub those equals 0 or let me leave it. So once you add this, you now combine in 2. Once it's common to this, that's 2x into bracket 3x then plus 5. Then what's common here? This one is just minus 1 into bracket 3x plus 5 equals 0. Then you now combine this and this. Since we have the same thing inside this, that will give us 2x minus 1 bracket 3x plus 5 equals 0. So therefore, our 6x cubed plus 13x squared plus 2x minus 5 can now be simplified as x plus 1. We now know that this one is for 6x squared plus 7x minus 5. So instead of writing this, we now write into bracket 2x minus 1 into bracket 3x plus 5 equals 0. So these are the factors, and if they want it as number, that means x equals to minus 1 in this case, or this 2x. When you say 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. So here you have 2x equals to 1, x is equal to what? 1 over 2. So you have minus 1, 1 over 2, or the last one, that will be what? Minus 5 over 3. So you can write it in this form, but these are the factors that you are looking for. On to the next video. Make sure you click on that like button. Make sure you share, comment whatever you feel about this video. And if you have any topic that you want us to take, let me know. It's still your boy, King of Mathematics. I say bye. Love you guys.